Morning, guys. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Today we're going to be biking around Kunia. We just missed the bus, or rather the bus just passed us. We're not catching the bus today, but yeah, looks like a nice bright day today. I did my first test record yesterday in low light. It didn't go too well, but today should be a little bit better. Whew. Slow down. For those of you that checked it out unlisted, the first video, my test footage, appreciate it. What did you guys think? I know the low light setting was kind of rough. The stabilization couldn't pick up too much, or at least prevent much of the stabilization, so I figured it'd be better to record later on during the day when I have time, or maybe in the afternoon where there's more sunlight. Another thing I found out was that my wind, the wind reduction was set on. And I know normally that's not a good idea, but since I don't have an external mic, since I didn't have an external mic, or I don't have one yet, I think using that for now would be helpful rather than hurtful, because right now it's really windy and you wouldn't be able to hear me. I can barely hear myself. But yeah, we're gonna do the same route we did last time, and we'll be a little bit more conscientious in the commentary. So there are a few things I wanted to talk about. Mainly about like frequency posting. I'm looking forward to posting more, especially across all the other social media platforms. And I get so much enjoyment reviewing my cycling footage that I don't mind actually going into it and editing it down to something more palatable on, let's say, TikTok or Instagram or YouTube Reels or Shorts. So I'm looking forward to that. Right. And as we progress further along in the channel, I think my ultimate goal, my short-term goal, I guess, is to get into the YouTube partnership program, and that'd be pretty cool. I believe the main challenge would be getting 1,000 subs. That's one of the criteria, and then I need to be able to have some concurrent viewers, or the viewership on my videos have to be really long, or at least good, for them to justify putting in ads. But I feel like I can achieve it. Definitely, for those of you that don't know, I'm currently a Twitch affiliate on a different channel for my video gaming, and yeah, for my video gaming game. Let me restart that. For those of you that don't know, I'm a Twitch affiliate on my other channel, and I've been taking it easy on that because live streaming is a little bit different. It was great. It was great during the pandemic, just because there was a lot of free time. A lot of people were on the website. But as we slowly started to transition to the new normal, less people started going on Twitch. But that's no, you know, I'm not saying that's a negative thing. I understand. I kind of lost the motivation to live stream, just because it would require me to sit down and play a video game. Maybe if I'm not interested in playing it, then I'm kind of forcing myself to do it, which is kind of like the opposite of what you're supposed to do with video games, is my philosophy. But yeah, at this point I'm just rambling about Twitch for no reason. I think it's a good platform. Of course there's things that it can do to improve, but I don't think I'm in the position to offer any expertise or advice at this point, especially because I was just doing it as a hobby. But in terms of this YouTube cycling video, I'm looking forward to it. I already have so much ideas, especially circling around or centered around commuting on Oahu. And I hope you guys enjoy the footage, or at least from what you can see. I think on my test video I had it set as wide view, and there's a super wide view or something like that. And I thought to myself before I filmed, I was like, I think wide view should be enough for everybody. But after replaying the footage back after a cycle, that wasn't the case. So we'll see how this goes. Right now we're passing the golf course. Let's see if I can get a better view. Another thing I noticed about my test footage was I think I breathed into the mic too much. So I'm going to try and control my breathing a little bit more and not breathe so heavily. But yeah, I'm going back to YouTube. There are so many cycling videos, especially in Japan. It's very scenic. I love it. I would spend hours just watching it or having it on the background. I used to watch those cycling videos, but before that there were walking videos. You know, the ones in 4K. And it's just some guy with a camera, like an Insta360 Go, and they're just walking around, which is awesome. I really enjoyed those videos. It helped us out a lot, especially since we did our Japan trip recently. I would watch those videos in preparation to help us navigate streets that we weren't familiar with, which is all of them. But being able to see how dense it was, dense, crowded, gave us a better understanding on what to expect, especially since we were sitting or staying in Shinjuku, which is all the videos that I watched. And I remember going around walking and be like, hey, I saw that in that guy's YouTube video. So I know exactly where we're going. I hope to achieve that kind of Hold on. Gotta climb here. All right, what was I saying? I hope to achieve that kind of helpfulness, or hope to become like a resource for people with the videos that I'm making right now. Especially those that are really casual. I smell weed. Let's go a little bit faster here. Damn. Let's take a left here. Right now we're gonna go into a neighborhood at like the very edge of Kania. Really cute. Nice neighborhood, very quiet. There's so much trees and grassy areas. Nice long walkways. Maybe I'll take you guys to one of them, or maybe take you through some of these walkways. But for now, I think we'll stick to the road. Oh, it's a beautiful day out. Oh, you know what? I forgot to start my workout on my Apple Watch, but that's no problem. I can always bike again. That's a shame, because I know it'll detect whether you're cycling or doing some kind of physical activity, but it'll ask for your permission. Maybe there's some kind of settings that allows you to just bypass that, and if it does detect it, then it'll just run it for you. There's so many bike rides that I've done already where I wanted to cycle and record it, and I forget to hit play or start workout. And then my cycling data becomes kind of skewed or incorrect because it starts me earlier or later than when I started. I'll look into that more. I just got this Apple Watch recently, the SE. Oh, let's switch gears. Ooh. But yeah, going back on the topic of like neighborhoods, a couple of friends and I were discussing moving into like a group home together. I thought that'd be fun. It's just a funny idea to entertain, you know, what might be a possibility going forward. Housing here is expensive, but for those of you that are fortunate enough to have enough money, there are a lot of developing neighborhoods right now, namely the whole Hilly area, which is probably where I would want to live if I had a choice and if I had to move for whatever reason. Just because it's still on the west side of the island, but the whole Hilly area is right next to two major rail stops. They have their own Hilly rail, and the one by West Oahu, the university, which is so great. I would love to commute using the rail exclusively, or at least doing multimodal transportation, which is why I bought this ZiZZO, the ZiZZO Urbano. God, lifesaver. It folds down. Okay, I'm gonna I'm gonna go on this like really gushy rant about, maybe not rant, I'm gonna really gush over the ZiZZO. But let me preface, I've always owned like really cheap bikes, things you get on Walmart growing up, and just recently I got a Huffy mountain bike. It was like $200. I got that like 2 months ago, and it was fine. I used it for cycling, same route that we're doing right now, maybe a little bit shorter, but I didn't like how it felt. It felt very pedaling felt kind of cheap. The gears didn't shift well. I don't know if I just didn't know how to handle it correctly, but that was my experience with it. It was a tall bike too, and I live in a 2-story home. I tried putting it tried bringing it upstairs. That's where we live. Tried carrying it upstairs. I forget how much pounds it weighs. Maybe like 30, 40. But yeah, I did it once. My cats liked it up there, but having to lug that up and down, it's a big bike too. I forgot the full length of it, but the reason why I got that initially instead of a folding bike from the get-go was I didn't know how serious I would take bicycling or cycling in general. So I figured, hey, I can spend some money on a bike at Walmart, very affordable, see how I like it. And if I stop cycling within like the first month, then I can always return it, and then that's it. That's the end of the story. But if I really wanted to, I could invest in a more quality or a premium bike. So as we got to the 30-day mark, that's the return policy. Yeah, as we started to approach the return policy window, I was like, you know what, yeah, I'm gonna invest in a folding bike. And I did a lot of research. I watched a lot of YouTube videos. There are 3 names that popped up: Brompton, Dahon, and ZiZZO. And they're all fantastic bikes. But there's a reason why I went to ZiZZO. Brompton, it's too expensive, out of my price range. I think the cheapest one was like $1,500. That's a big investment. Folds down really nicely though. 16-inch wheels, and it's a tri-fold. Unfortunately, I didn't have enough money for that. Dahon was my second choice. Oh, maybe not second choice, but something to consider. Sorry, I had to make sure that there's no cars crossing. Here. Yeah, so I talked about the Brompton. Dahon, we have a couple of retail stores that sell Brompton Dahons here. That one was a bit out of my price range too, but I wouldn't have mind stretching the budget a little bit more to get it if that was my only option. And then finally we had the ZiZZO. And oh man, before I committed, I started looking at used bikes on Facebook Marketplace, and I'll talk about my experience there a little bit more depth in a later video. But I did find a bike, a Dahon. It was a Speed Uno, so it's only 1 speed. We ended up getting it for Judy. That's a fantastic bike. Very quality parts. So the Speed Uno, it's like a bike from 2013, and the seller that we bought from took really good care of it. I was thoroughly impressed. They upgraded some of the handlebars, put in some fenders, which is great. We had to drive a bit to get it, but that was no problem. We got it for a good deal. I liked it. Only issue that it was is a 1-speed. I think it's great for like beginners. It was perfect for Judy, but I wanted the gears, especially since we're going to be climbing so much hills, and the gear range would have been nice, or would be nice. So I decided, I pulled the trigger. Initially I wanted to get the Campo, but Amazon or the delivery service kind of fucked up that order, so I wasn't able to get it. It was undeliverable, so I ended up placing another order, and I thought, you know what, instead of settling on the Campo, which is like their second in line in terms of budget, figured I'd chill out a little bit more and get the Urbano. It's an 8-speed with Shimano Altus shifters, and oh boy, when I got it I was so excited. I took pictures of the box. It was so well shipped, so much padding. My goodness, I love that bike. I love this bike. It's awesome. I highly recommend anybody that's looking for a foldie to jump on the ZiZZO line. Keep forgetting to shift the gears, but recommend this bike 100%. I've had no issues with it so far. Everything feels of quality, high quality. Brakes work well. But mind you, please, those of you that are cycling enthusiasts, take this information as a grain of salt, because this is coming from a casual rider that's been living on Walmart bikes for his entire life. But yeah, this bike, leagues above the Huffy Rock Creek that I bought. And it may be kind of like comparing apples to oranges, because it's a mountain bike and this is a commuter bike. But this bike is great. So I've been trying to convince a bunch of people, friends and family, to get their own bike, folding or not. Just because it's so great riding around, and hopefully the more people that bike, the better, or more likely things will change in terms of rideability in Oahu. I know there's cycling infrastructure in downtown, but that's maybe like a 30-minute way, 30-minute drive for us. And aside from going to the mall, we don't have really a reason to go to downtown. At least not currently. So There's always room for improvement in terms of infrastructure. But what we have here in Kunia is really great. I think the Kunia and Village Park area is nicely developed from what it was before. I think this area alone didn't have these bike lanes. They're all just massive road lanes, and you kind of have to share with the vehicles, motor vehicles. Is that in ahead again? So you guys can see it. Probably not. We're gonna visit our favorite kitties. We don't have favorite kitties. Don't tell Inari and Lychee. But we're gonna check out the stray cats that live in the boxcar. Maybe I'll stand a little bit, give you guys a better view. Hopefully, an opportunity to zoom in to see the personality on their faces. Busy today. They here? Oh no, I think they're off exploring. Let's go check it out. Let's see, cats here, they're done eating. That makes sense. Just drive a little bit slowly. I don't see them around. That's unfortunate. This is probably like the latest I've ever rode my bike. So they're probably just like out hanging out further inside the boxcar track. All right, climb. I noticed in my previous video, I progressively got lower and lower in terms of my seating position. So hopefully I was more cognizant this ride. But I feel like my breathing definitely adjusted. At least I'm hoping it got better. I'm making sure my head is lifted so I'm not breathing into the mic of the GoPro. But yeah, as we approach the end of the ride, I wanted to thank you guys for joining me. Thank you for watching my videos. Again, if you like this content, please go ahead and click that like button. If you have any constructive criticism, please I'm out of breath. If there's any constructive criticism, please let me know in the comments below. And if you like this content again and you want to see more, please hit that subscribe button and consider hitting the bell for notifications. Alright guys, I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.